Hi, it's Dwyer. GamblersAdvisory.com, dwyervip.com, both free sites. Today is Saturday, December the 22nd, 2018. Let's talk about Week 16 of the National Football League. But first, remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, let's just lay it out here. First, for serious gamblers, there's an excellent website. I have no connection with them. It's 538.com. Again, that's 538.com. Not the numbers, write out the words. Go to the NFL section there, and you're going to see an excellent interactive board that gives you the opportunity to lay out all of the playoff scenarios. You'll also see mathematically which teams are in the best position right now to make the playoffs, and you'll be able to look at their remaining games and to speculate on which games they win, which games they lose, and how that changes the odds. Understand, in gambling, the odds are everything. So again, it's 538.com. Go there, then go to the NFL section. Now, if you're looking at the playoffs, just big picture, just understand it is mid-December. And like clockwork, young quarterbacks are having a rough time of it this time of year. Now, that shouldn't surprise anyone, because if you look at recent Super Bowls, you're going to notice that almost all of the quarterbacks who have won recent Super Bowls are all over the age of 25, right? So let's run down a few. Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Folks, that's your last 3 Super Bowls, right? Tom Brady again. You get to Russell Wilson, who's older than people think. He's 30 years old right now. Right? Joe Flacco. Understand, all of these guys are in their, let's say they're out of their early 20s, right? Russell Wilson, I believe, is 25 or 26. Eli, Aaron Rodgers. So, that has huge implications for gamblers. What I'm saying here diplomatically is that, in my opinion, Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, and Deshaun Watson are not likely to win the Super Bowl this year. Right, folks? They're just not. Just look at the 4 of them. Absolutely no playoff wins. Right? None. Understand, only Jared Goff got to the playoffs. We're not even talking about the Super Bowl, which requires actual performance in the playoffs. Only Jared Goff got to a playoff game, and it did not work out well for him. Understand, the Rams last year were one and done, right? One and done. So, cut the wheat from the chaff here. I'm not saying I don't have any money on these teams, because I'm a hedge better. In other words, I'm trying to be on both sides of the play. So since I bet NFL futures, I'll sprinkle some money on some plays that I don't even believe are viable, just to lock in odds. But I don't expect the Chiefs, the Rams, the Ravens, if the Ravens make the playoffs, and that's questionable, or the Houston Texans. And I know Deshaun Watson has gotten to college championship games. I don't expect any of them to be raising the Lombardi Trophy. Right? To the gambling hardcore out there, please leave your comments in the comment section of this video on those points. Today, I like the Philadelphia Eagles laying 1.5 at home over the Houston Texans. Houston has a lot of things going for it. a lot, right? DeAndre Hopkins, who has been great to me for several years in a keeper fantasy pool I'm involved in. But in my opinion, it's that time of year. I prefer Nick Foles over Deshaun Watson, especially when the game's in Philly. Right? I prefer the Eagle pass rush to the Houston offensive line. And in terms of desperation, let's just say Philly right now is more desperate than Houston is. For Philly, there's no question that this is a playoff game. They can put whatever label they want on the game. Philly has to win to stay in, right? Or to get in. So to me, I'll lay the 1.5. I like Philly. Next, young quarterbacks die, in my opinion, in Seattle. One of the toughest places to play in the National Football League for a road team, right? It's tough. Let me also say, too, that Pete Carroll has been to 2 Super Bowls, right? A lot of these coaches, Sean Payton, will break through Mike McCarthy and get to 1 Super Bowl. Pete Carroll led his team to 2 NFC titles, got to 2 Super Bowls, won 1 of the 2. Pete Carroll's background is defense. That's who he is. Now you're telling me that Pete Carroll against a young QB is not going to have success at home when Seattle is a 2.5-point underdog. I think that's ridiculous. How's Seattle an underdog in this game? Has anyone looked at the calendar? It's going to be rainy. It's going to be windy. The crowd is going to be loud. The atmosphere is going to be a playoff type atmosphere. I think you're looking at an Andy Reid team imploding here. Let's face it too. Pat Mahomes is not a stay in the pocket quarterback, right? Those are the kind of guys, in my opinion, the guys who can diagnose the defense from in the pocket and make quick adjustments, who can get rid of the uncertainty that comes with ad-libbing in December, right? In my opinion, ad-libbers do well in September before defensive coordinators figure out their tendencies. By now, let's just say defensive coordinators see the pattern to Pat Mahomes' ad-libbing. Pat Mahomes himself, who went several weeks without throwing a pick, is now throwing picks. Bobby Wagner and company know how to get picks. I like Seattle getting 2.5 points over KC in Seattle. That's how, and of course, it goes without saying, I don't care what the Pro Bowl voters were thinking. Russell Wilson, who has been to 2 Super Bowls, who's a Super Bowl winner, remains one of the absolute best quarterbacks in the National Football League. So I have a great quarterback in his prime. Russell's 30, right? Russell can take you apart from in the pocket. Russell can take you apart from outside of the pocket. I have Russell Wilson in a high-profile game, and he's playing at home. And you mean to tell me I'm getting points? Christmas has come early. I like Seattle getting 2.5 over Kansas City. Those are the games I like this week. One favorite at home, laying 1.5. That's Philly over Houston. And one underdog at home, getting 2.5. That's Seattle versus KC. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. I look forward to your comments. Thanks for stopping by.